Alrighty, yo. Let's see what we got today. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Again, we are out here in the beautiful Caribbean. We're about to up into the Airbus A320 by Phoenix, and we're going to be flying down to, well, we're going to be flying up to Guadeloupe. Air France does have this route as their regular Caribbean route. It's a daily route, and they fly in between the Caribbean islands all the way up to Miami. So you should expect to see some of those flights headed up to Miami as well. Not sure if I'm gonna head all the way up to Miami, but I'm gonna be flying up to not Fort de France, but Raizet. Gonna head over to Raizet and then onwards to do a couple of legs in this 320. Give me a second, guys. let's see. How do we go now? Alright, we look good. And we're gonna be exiting on Charlie, so that's gonna be a right on Charlie, and we should just go all the way down because that's going to cause me having to be on my brakes a little bit too much. Auto brakes set to max, spoilers are armed, TO config is normal. Predictive wind shear is switched to on. Alright, yo. Okay, so we have everything else set up. We're gonna be backtrack runway 28410. And that flight attendant was looking real delicious. Let's see. Okay. Oh, is it not working in the plane? Alright, we're rolling down 22 knots. We're all good. Sorry, I wasn't looking at my chat. Okay, so center line has to be between these two panels. That's how it's set up in the Fenix. So we are pretty much keeping on center line. Alright, before takeoff checklist, with the radar is on 1, predictive wind shear is auto, TCAS is TARA, tilt above, spoilers are armed, auto brakes is max, and the terrain on the FO side. Cabin crew is advised, strobe lights are going on, strobe lights are on, those wheel lights are to take off, packs are remaining on, ECAM memo, take off. No blue, checklist is complete. Alright, so once we turn around, we'll be departing. So let's hope for a pretty smooth takeoff. Alright, we're just a little bit left of center line. So let us get back on. We're making a left turn on the captain's side. For the front, traffic FR at 601, we're departing runway 10 for the front. Alright, let us go over here and slow down for that turn. Alright, so we did have enough for the departure. 4290 was the min takeoff fuel, so we're all set. Properly planned, exactly as I planned it. Alright. Alright, takeoff. Chrono is on. Power. Alright, takeoff. Man, flex, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Check. That airspeed shot up. Alright, airspeed is alive. Alright, giving some aileron, right aileron, 100. Coming off the right aileron, giving it a little bit more. V1, rotate. Correction with the rudder. Gearboard. Positive brake, gear up. Gear going up. Alright, Let's follow our flight directors. Gear is going up. Turn off. Taxi light is off. Passing 1000 AP on. Autopilot is in command. 140 is being selected. 140 set. Climb thrust. Thrust climb, nav, green. Alright, so here we go. Flaps being retracted, and after takeoff checklist, landing gear is retracted. Thrust and climb spoilers are being disarmed. FCUAP1 on, and auto throttle is on. Flaps retracted, packs are on, anti-ice is as required. Exterior lights, runway turn off lights are off, nose light is off, checklist is complete. That left turn. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Guys are racing there. Alright, 720 range. Keep it fast regardless. Let's go over to our charts here. Alright, run our departure. We're heading up here to Dominica, where I live. Alright, so here we go. Alright, let's check our transition altitude. It's 9,000. So once we hit 9,000, we will be switching standard, and then we should be passing the transition altitude. We're going to be completing our climb checklist. There we go. Climb checklist. Barrel reference is set standard and waiting for 10,000. Seatbelt signs are as required. They're going to remain on. Anti-ice is as required. Passing 10,000 feet. Landing lights off, and climb checklist is complete. Alright, so acceleration. Alright, so right now we have prepared our arrival. We're going to be on the RNAV runway 12 Yankee arrival. Our top of descent is coming up shortly in about 30 miles, 38 miles. And we're all set. Alrighty, so weather looks pretty good coming up into, and it looks, this is pretty much what the weather looks like around here today. That's one of the things that I like about 2024. One of the only things that I like about 2024 is the fact that it gets the weather correctly without me having to pull out anything like Rex or so on. But it's awesome. Just the weather. So Guadeloupe is usually always covered with clouds like this. If you fly through the Caribbean a lot, you know that we always have clouds around here. Dominica is back there. This is my home. This is where I'm from originally. Well, not really originally. I'm from Antigua, which is a little bit higher up that way. But I live here currently in Dominica, right nearby the airport of Douglas Charles. Alrighty, so we should be preparing for our landing today. So while we go ahead and prepare for our landing, let's go ahead and do our briefing. So we're going to pull up our charts and let's go ahead into here, arrival. Alright, RNAV runway 1 and 2. Alright, so today we're going to be doing an arrival into runway 12 in Guadeloupe. We're flying a beautiful aircraft, the Airbus A320. Real okay. We have only one issue with the aircraft here, is that our standby attitude indicator is not aligned, so it is showing out of alignment. So once we get there, that's something for the maintenance books. We will be doing the RNAV approach. We will be switching over to manual once we get, before minimums, about 200 feet before minimums. Our chart that we are going to be using today is going to be 12-2, which was done and revised 6th of June 2025, and it became effective on the 12th of June 2025. Alright, it's going to be the RMP Yankee, runway 12. We are going to be descending down to an altitude of 3,600 feet at AVSET. Then India Romeo 12 Yankee, then Foxtrot Romeo 12 Yankee, where this is going to be our final approach fix. It's going to be a mandatory of 1,800 feet. For approach, our max approach speed is going to be at 230 knots at AVSET. And our missed approach altitude is going to be 3,600 feet at 240 knots. Weather today in Guadeloupe, we're going to go ahead and pull that up. Weather today in our arrival, our winds 120 at 9 knots, our clouds at 080, or wind 080, variable at 150. Our visibility is great, a few clouds at 3,200 feet. Our temperature 30.24, QNH 1012, and we do have a little bit of showers and rain around the area, so we should look out for that. We are going to be using low auto brake, but we're going to use max reverse for this landing, so that we don't burn our brakes up. Again, we are expecting some rain, as see we do have some severe cloud cover. After landing, we're going to try to get off on the next available taxiway so we can get on to our stand. Pretty much nothing much. If in the event that our approach gets unstable below 1,000 feet, we will be going around. If for any reason that we have any aircraft on the runway, we'll be going around, or for any threats that we deem harmful to our flight, we will be going around. So, is there any questions? No questions, so that is our departure briefing. Right. Okay, we're going to set our TCAS to below. gas is set to below. Altitude is set 3,600 feet. Approach briefing is complete. Anti-ice is as required, and we're going into descent mode. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and call out on VATSIM. Present traffic, Air France 401, we are on the descent from flight level 140 to 3,600 on the Lido 1 Alpha arrival for Arnhem Yankee runway 12, descending 3,600. Alright, let's go ahead and here we go. Seatbelt signs are still on because it's pretty much of a short flight, like about 40 minutes in total. That's what we're expecting. I mean, we've been flying for 18 minutes, so that's pretty much one of the fastest flights that we are expecting to do. Alright, so there we go. We need some speed brake, so we're going to pull our speed brake out. Again, this is one of the things that we forgot to brief, is the fact that we're using the sharklets. Now, one of what you got to remember about the sharklets is, as opposed to the wingtip fences, they allow this aircraft to be a lot more slippery, so you're a lot faster when you're coming in. So it's a lot more difficult to manage your energy. That's something that you gotta be ahead of, and always be, you know, you always gotta keep in the back of your mind that this aircraft is gonna be a lot more slippery than, you know, the conditional wingtip fences. So that's why I will use some speed brake, especially if we are descending below 10,000 feet. That way we can slow down and get on profile. So always be ahead of your aircraft. Don't let your aircraft get ahead of you, because the moment you do that, that's the moment you are going to be unstable, or your stabilized approach criteria is going to go out the window. Alright, alright, let's get off, pull off the speed brake, and we are headed down. Alright, so I'm gonna set auto brake low right now. Again, we're gonna be low auto brake, full or max reverse after touching down. Gonna try our best to touch down at a reasonable speed. Alright, so below 10,000, landing lights going on. I kind of missed that click there, or that scroll point. We are way too high on profile for some reason. It's descending below it, but it's okay. Our minimums is pretty low today, so we should be able to get under the clouds. The main thing that we have to worry about is the high terrain, but we are going to be going around the high terrain. That's what the arrival does. It takes you around the high terrain. So the high terrain is on this side here. So once we get around, we should be beyond the high terrain. Alright. Okay, there we go. Standard. Check. 1012 is set in the box. But we're kind of speeding up a little bit more than we want to. See, that's why I said the aircraft is a little bit slippery with the sharklets, so you should expect, here we go, more drag. The aircraft needs a little bit more drag, and we are trying to get down on that vertical deviation right there. Our descent rate is a little bit high, and we do have some weather on our arrival here, so just keep in mind for that. We have some severe vertical deviation. We're popping through some clouds, no icing. Typically you do get icing around, but it's not as prominent as you would think. Alright, so as I said, we'll be dropping down below the clouds, so that cloud layer was nothing to us. Should not be too worried about it. Alright, our lateral deviation, so there it is, it's popping through. And our airspeed is going to be reduced to 210 knots, but the aircraft is pretty much diving to attempt to capture the vertical deviation right there. But we have our speed brake out, and we should be all set. Alright, so our descent checklist is complete. Alright, there we go, 3600. That deviation. And there's our vertical deviation right there. So we're gonna go down to 1800. You're gonna remain right there, alt star, because 3600 is mandatory around here. The aircraft is gonna slow down, so we are perfect here. And the aircraft is gonna maintain that altitude here for us, but we have to be very careful as we are experiencing some oscillations right there. Oh, speed brake out. Alright, we'll stow that speed brake. A little turbulent coming over the mountains there. We have just a little bit of rain in and out. Those are isolated showers. The aircraft is oscillating a little bit. We can have the airport is somewhere around here. Alright, let's go ahead, 18. Set, all constrained. Alright, so we're maintaining green dot speed as we follow this approach. So one of the things that you guys have to know, the green dot speed right here, the aircraft is showing down here that we're supposed to be at 134 knots. That's basically our deceleration, where our aircraft is going to decelerate to our landing speed. However, it is always going to maintain the green dot speed so that we are able to remain flying, so that we don't just drop down. Because if you notice, our stall tape is right here and it's creeping up with that turn. If I put out a degree of flap, the green dot speed is gonna drop down, but we don't want to get below that until we reach a certain point. So I'm remaining with my flaps out, or with my flaps up, and I'm gonna be introducing flaps within our next nose down descent, our next profile. There we go. So we go flaps 1. Alright, we can pull out the ILS here. Approach mode is armed and we are on final approach. Alright, so we will be relying not on our speed brake again from now moving forward. We're going to be relying on aerodynamic braking, which means that we're going to be using our landing gear. We do have a company message which is an AEC they're going to request, but because this is such a short flight, I could care less of pulling that out. So go with gear down. And runway turn off is on, taxi lights to taxi takeoff. Flap selects. So as you see, as our landing gear goes down, we start losing airspeed. Flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. And our airspeed is starting to bleed out very quickly. Alright, speed check, flaps 3. And we're speed check, flaps full. There we go. Alright, so we're all full for that landing. Alright, so our cabin crew is advised, EFIS is as required, FCU is set on approach, ND terrain is as required, landing gear is down, flaps is set to landing, spoilers are armed, auto brake is on low, autopilot 2 is as required, which is off, engine mode selector is normal, exterior lights, we have nose wheel lights, runway turn off lights, and go around altitude is going to be set right now, which is going to be 3600. Alrighty, yo, and our landing checklist is complete. Alright. So the aircraft is on final approach mode right now. It is going to follow the RNAV approach and perform, well, it is going to descend down to final, or descend down to our minimum thrust. That way we can take control of the aircraft and perform the landing. Hopefully it is going to be a smooth landing. Right, if you notice, the aircraft is descending slightly. Check. Alright, there we go. And we shall be taking control of the aircraft right now. AP off. There we go. We're going to follow the flight directors here. We're gonna start descending. We need to start descending a little faster for us here. And we have wind coming out our left there, 14 knots. We're on glide. We are experiencing a little bit of, I'm having to input a little bit more rudder as we move around a little bit.
1000.
Check. Speed is dying out, and the wind direction is changing. 11 knots. Wind direction is changing. Wind direction is changing. Manually doing this, so our wind direction has changed off the rudder, so the nose can correct itself.
500.
Check. Almost took a slip there.
100 above.
Alright, let's try to arrest this descent. Alright, winds change, continue. Our winds are getting us off the center line there.
Too low terrain.
20. Retard. Retard.
Ah, that was a hard touchdown. Max reverse. On manual brake-in. Alright, that was a little bit of a hard touchdown. Didn't like it, but you can't do better. Well, you can do better, but alright. Alright, so we have exited the runway and runway exit procedure. Let's go ahead and switch off our landing light. Right, come on. Alright, taxi lights to go into taxi. Alright, stroke to auto. Master switch APU is on, flaps going up. Spoilers are disarmed. TCAS is auto, TARA set to all. Set that TCAS to standby. Alright, LS. Alright, so after landing, brake fans, we have it as required. Spoilers are disarmed and retracted. Flaps are retracted. Auto brake is set to off. Engine mode selector is normal. TCAS on standby. We're going to turn our chrono off right now, 33 minutes. Weather radar and predictive wind shear. We're going to go ahead and turn those off right now. And flight directors are going off. Localizer is off. Alright, so we're going to take stand 1, 2. We did a pretty, I hated that touchdown. That touchdown was unexpected. Our brakes looks okay, so we don't need any brake fans. Okay, here we come for a nice, beautiful parking. And we're stopped. Check. Parking brake is set. Engines switch to off. Those lights go off. APU bleeding is on. Beacon lights are off. We can run our deboard in. I think GSX does not know what to do with this parking. Where am I? I'm not, it's basically thinking I'm not parked at a stand or a gate. That is ridiculous. Oh well. We'll let GSX do its thing when we're done. Let's stop recording this. Nope, let's continue. Alright, our beacon lights are set to off. APU is on, master is on, engine masters are off, fuel pumps. I'm going to switch to the external power, so fuel pumps are going off. APU master and bleed is going off. Transponder mode is set, beacon lights are off, seatbelt signs are off, external power is on, and everything is all set here for us. So, now that we have completed that, we're going to work on GSX's, submit this report. Oops, let's go ahead and submit. Alright, GSX, you want us to go to a gate. Look at it, heavy, 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 heavy. Alright, let's go to gate 7, let's just get work there.
Stalled.
There we are, we're at gate 7. Alright, the boarding is requested. And that's something that I don't like because in 2024, I wanted to park at a stand so we can use the stairs so we can get in and out. Now, I just gotta fall out of the aircraft whenever we need to do anything. Alright. So anything that we're gonna do, oh, we can maybe put stairs at the back. Yeah, that's something that we can do. Alright, let's go down this way. Yeah, the passengers are already boarding, but I'm not too sure of that. Alright, let's go ahead and open this door. because I'm going to use this to exit and enter the aircraft, which is big brained. All right, Augusta lock is in. Oh, passengers are just popping up. One of the things that I would love is for the seated passengers to be visible while I'm flying. You know, it does not show up, so we just gotta. Hey, love. All right, we're going in, and we are gonna get our ground services going. Let's see. Put in the aft stairs. Rock our chocks and cones and our PCA. Alright, so now that we got our chocks in, we can go ahead, release the parking brake. That way our wheels can cool down a little bit better. Okay. Ugh. She always dances out. We're gonna let them do what they're doing. Ooh, look at that one. Alright, we're gonna wait for them to come, for the boarding to complete. Let's sorry, I'm just gonna pass by you right there. You just appeared somewhere. Okay. Hello. Alright, let's get out of here. Whoa. So where's my gear steer? Do I just gotta jump down? Oh my god. Alright, let's go ahead and pull this in. So we're gonna close our door. That is closed. There we go. Door is closed. Oh, let's disarm that. We're not gonna arm that. Alright, so... Oh, old guy, you just walk in. Let's get out of here. Sorry, get out of my way. Alright, so one of the things that I was, actually saying is that you can't actually just walk out there, which would be good, that you could just walk and get onto the jet bridge, but that has not yet been, not yet, it has not been modeled. Can't touch anything from here. Alright, so this is one flight down. Let's see what else we can do. Let's check our flight analysis. Oh, okay, so the landing rate was decent, minus 138 feet per minute, so I thought it was somewhere like about 200. Let's see what flight again we are tide is up, we can go to Juliana. Or we can go to Montreal, but I'm not going to fly all the way up to Montreal. That makes no sense at this present time. YUL, it's not really an interesting thing. So, yeah, Juliana is an interesting approach. We can do it, but I won't. I shall not. No, we're not deporting crew. The crew will stay online. Someone is flying a Concorde from New Providence to Caracas. Very interesting thing. We're thinking of what we're going to be doing next, what flight we're going to be doing next. Oh, we got to turn our radar off. So we can fly into Juliana if needed. Alright, so let us see what else we can do for today, because there's not much that we can do. I've been flying for the entire day, so for the entirety of the day I have been flying. So let's see, I flew a couple of flights in Europe. I flew FedEx down to Honolulu, and now I'm doing this flight. I've not done any ATR flights, no E-Jets flight. Apparently, seeing that I'm beta testing the Embraer, the E-Jets, I can't stream them, which is annoying. So I'm left to just fly around in the Fenix and the FS Labs A321. So yeah, I'm thinking of what we are gonna be doing on it. This has fixed it. Yeah, it fixed itself. Wow, interesting. Right, you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple of extra things here while I do what I need to do. I will, I will hopefully see you guys on the next stream. I've got a lot of stuff for me to do right now. So, I just had someone come out and say that they need something done. I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, let me know down in the comment section below where you would like to see us stream, what other flights you'd like to see us do. I fly out in PNG. If you want to see me fly in PNG, fly some of the aircrafts. So like for example, I have the Simberg Studios Kodiak that I can fly down there. So if you would like to see me fly that down there, let me know. If you have a particular route that you would like me to accomplish, I could do that. So let me know and we will see how we get it to work out. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me on this flight, and I hope to see you guys again soon.